Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks and Christian. Today is the beginning of a crazy stretch for the New York Yankees. They're going to have 12 games against the Houston Astros, Toronto Blue Jays, Detroit Tigers, and Boston Red Sox. All four of those teams are some of the best in the American League. All four of them are in a playoff position. And this is going to be the Yankees' final test, their biggest test to really see what this team is made of. I think um, a couple weeks back when they played Boston, they lost 3 out of 4, and the vibes were just not good. It just seems like when the Yankees play in the biggest series of the season, they folded. And we've seen a lot of defensive miscues, a lot of base running issues. But Christian, the Yankees are only 2.5 games out of first place. They have an opportunity. They have a chance not only to make a statement and say, we are the best team in the American League, we are a super team, as Jazz Chisholm Jr. said. They can do that. They can win the East and, I guess just take it from there. But it's a really, really big stretch. And Christian, I haven't talked to you in a while. So how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for this week. I got to be honest, Ryan. And I wanted to open with something that Aaron Boone said that I actually agree with. And I don't know how recent this was, but someone asked him about, their struggles against good teams this year and how they've kind of just beat up on bad teams. And he was saying, "Well, I don't really pay much attention to those narratives because in past years we've done really well against the good teams and then just fell into a funk against the bad teams." And I was like, you know what? That's kind of true, actually. Because I feel like there's been multiple years where the Yankees, our big gripe was they would play down to competition. And, there's no magic solution. It's a long baseball season. A lot of good can happen, a lot of bad can happen. But I think every Yankee fan should go into this next 2 weeks with an open mind and honestly be excited because this is gonna be some pretty good baseball, uh, over these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. Yeah, I remember you touched on Boone saying, in years prior they lost against the bad teams and beat the good teams. And I was kind of thinking about 2021 when you said that. And I remember, the Yankees towards the end of the season had some big wins. I think they swept the Boston Red Sox in like 2 series down the stretch in 2021. But the Yankees were 11-8 versus the Orioles in 2021, and the Orioles in 2021 went 52 and 110, and the Yankees lost to them 8 times. So, yeah, I mean, I think that just goes to show you, how weird baseball can be, how funky it can be. I think the most concerning thing when you look at the Yankees this season and, playing these big series against these good teams is just kind of how they've lost. I mean, the surplus of errors, the base running miscues, those are things you don't want to see. And we saw that in the World Series and we saw what that led to. And if the Yankees, want to make a deep run and want to go far, they definitely have to tighten those areas up when they're playing big teams. But Christian, the Yankees face a familiar foe tonight. They lost 2 out of 3 to them this year, the Houston Astros. But tonight, the Yankees are going to send left-hander Max Fried to go up against Astros left-hander Framber Valdez, who's having a very good year for the Stros. He's 12-7 with a 3.18 ERA. Max Fried, Christian, 14 wins on the year, 14-5, 3.06 ERA. And then Wednesday, we got Will Warren versus Jason Alexander and Carlos Rodon and Christian Javier, who threw it a combined no hitter against the Yankees. He always seems to shut the Yankees down, and that's on Thursday. But if you look at these pitching matchups, it's pretty crazy because like each matchup is basically like a similar type pitcher. Like Freed and Valdez have similar ERAs. Warren and Alexander both ERAs like in the mid 4s, and then Carlos Rodon and Javier, low 3 ERAs. So should be evenly matched, and I'm really excited for it. I want to see what the Yankees can do.
Yeah, lot riding on this Max Fried start. You need him to turn in a quality outing. And I got to be honest, Ryan. I was reminiscing a little bit on our series in Houston last year as some of the Soto hits were coming across my
Yeah.
feed. But why not go into Houston and just make a statement? Like
Yeah.
I don't think this Houston team is that much better than the Yankees, if they even are, when they're both playing at their best. And as simple as it is, the biggest thing, like, don't embarrass yourself, just play baseball. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it gets amplified in those big games when it gets sloppy, or maybe they're feeling the pressure a little bit,
Yeah.
but it just feels like that's when the worst always comes out. So I don't know if it's a matter of thinking too much or not thinking enough, but at the end of the day, I mean, it kind of just has to be go play baseball. Like, you can't play tight, you can't play scared, or else it's going to reflect on the at bats and even in the field. You kind of just have to trust, I think, the team and play to your capability. Uh, the one real baseball thing that I think matters, because I trust this offense to a certain degree.
Hmm.
The defense, as long as they don't implode, is fine. The pitching just has to be there, though.
Yeah.
Like, cannot just keep bottom line, keep us in games. Can't have blow up starts.
Yeah.
It's gonna
No,
kill
I
them.
mean, you can't have it. I mean, this
And does Warren get Houston or Toronto?
Warren's in Houston.
So he's Wednesday's start then, right?
Yeah,
I
this
think.
Wednesday. Hmm.
Yeah, that's that's gonna be a huge start, Ryan. Because as I've said before, look, you can crunch Will Warren's numbers up, exclude a few games, and they look pretty good. But what I've kept saying is, I feel like all his blow up starts come in really big games against either divisional opponents or just rivals. So need Will Warren to show us something Tuesday or
Yeah,
Wednesday.
absolutely. And a lot of his struggles have come on the road too.
Yeah.
So there's that. One thing that's looked amazing is Cam Schlittler. I mean, he has really made a name for himself, Christian. He has a 2.61 ERA. He's just been stunner. I think his last three starts just been off the charts. So, Cam Schlittler's really making a name. He could be someone that the Yankees go to in the postseason. I don't think it's crazy right now to say that we could see a world where Cam Schlittler is the third starter for the Yankees in the playoffs behind Carlos Rodon. He's just been that good. So that's definitely exciting. The Yankees are going to need him down the stretch. If Warren could really, find something here in the last month, that would be big. And Luis Heel, kind of been up in the air. And, if he could get going, that would also be really big for the Yankees. So the Yankees are starting to have some starting pitching options to go to. I don't think there's a clear front runner out of those three guys that you're like, all right, they're going to shut it down. They're going to lock the door. But I think, we go back a couple months ago and we were talking about like who's going to start that third game. We had no idea. Now it seems like the Yankees do have some options to go to. And I think they have, three guys all kind of neck and neck, fighting for that third spot. So that's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But you just got to go out there this series and you got to prove it. I mean, this is it. We're in September. They have 12 games against some of the hardest teams in the league. All you're probably going to see at least one of these teams, if not two of them, in the postseason. So go out there and play your best ball and get the job done. If the Yankees play really well and let's say they go out of these 12 games, hey, maybe they go 7-5 or something like that, you get your confidence up, Christian. I think everyone starts believing in this team if you haven't already. I think everyone jumps back on board because at that point, you look around and say they can compete with any team. And this offense is really, really starting to mesh together. It seems like everyone on the team has like a spot, which is going to be like important for like the playoffs. Like everyone has like sort of like a spot in the lineup or like where they're going to be playing. Like it seems like Grisham's going to be that leadoff guy. He's really gotten hot. So, carry that in October. There's no one in the American League that I look at that is just going to run away and take the Yankees. There's no team in the American League I look at and be like, wow, like the Yankees have no shot against them. I think the Yankees can beat any team in the American League. So, it's just about going out there and doing that. And I loved what Jazz Chisholm said the other day, saying, we're going to go out there, win the division, and then we're going to win the World Series. And Christian, I'm usually not a big fan of, players talking that loudly or saying stuff like that because a lot of times you're kind of setting yourself up for disaster when you say things like that. It doesn't always work out. But for this team and for this circumstance, I absolutely loved what Jazz Chisholm Jr. said. Like, have that FU mentality. Like, have that mentality. Like, we're the defending American League champs. Like, we're the best team in the American League. Maybe we're the best team in baseball. Let's go out there and prove that. And Christian, the summer months, the June months, all of that was terrible. It was, I think, really toxic and a dark place to be as a Yankee fan. But Christian, it's September 2nd, and if the Yankees play good baseball, they have the opportunity to erase all of that and be the number one seed in the playoffs when it comes to October and have the playoffs in the American League run through Yankee Stadium, run through the Bronx.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but also I feel like a lot of people are just talking about the Yankees taking the division, and which they do need to do in order to get that bye in the postseason, but also like beating Houston and Detroit is huge because if you win the division, but you're the third best division winner, so whoever won the Central and the West both have better records than you, really doesn't mean much. I mean, so you play the sixth seed in the wild card, but you're still playing that wild card. You're still playing that wild card series, and you get home field advantage for it. Not that big
Yeah.
of a difference, opposed to automatically being in the ALDS, and depending how well you play, could have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, or at least until the World Series. So there's a lot riding on this. I was just pulled up the 2021 schedule to make sure I was right, and it does remind me a lot of that final stretch in 2021 where it was Boston, Blue Jays, and we were kind of going into it little different because I feel like we're in position now where we're looking division, whereas there we were looking wild card. But I remember that stretch was fun, Ryan, because it
Yeah.
was kind of just going into it like this is it.
Yeah.
It's go time now. Show us what you got, and the Yankees actually ended up performing really well with a lackluster roster in that final stretch. But yeah, I'm excited. I got to be honest, early on, Ryan, one thing I'm looking at, Luis Gil's start on Saturday, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
against Scherzer. I'm already having my doubts about that because I have really disliked how Luis Gil has pitched this year.
Well, I mean, he's coming off that injury, so I mean, that doesn't help. Who knows? I mean, it's hard to build back up. We've seen his velocity dip a lot this year. I think last start he came out, he was throwing like 91, 92, 93. First couple innings, same thing in the start before that. So his velocity is just not there. He's definitely not working with the same stuff that he had last season. So we'll see what happens there. But if they could get Luis Hill right, I mean, that'd certainly be huge for the team. He was the one who pitched in the only game in the World Series that the Yankees won last year. So we'll see what happens there. But like I said, I think the next month is going to tell a lot in terms of who the Yankees roll out there. And Scherzer, I think, has pitched really well against the Yankees this year too. Good news
Yeah.
is Yankees. Good news is the Yankees are at home, and I'm looking over here at the standings, and Detroit's 80 and 59. They have the best record in the American League. The Yankees 76 and 61, Toronto 79 and 59, and the Yankees actually by a half game have a better record than the Houston Astros. So I think they match up well against any of these teams. They have the best run differential in the American League at plus 134, which is just outrageous. And the Houston Astros have a plus 20 run differential, and they're a half game worse than the Yankees. Just goes to show you how crazy baseball can be. Like the Rangers are a game and a half out of the playoffs. They have a plus 94 run differential. And
Yep.
the Red Sox have scored a lot of runs too with a plus 104 run differential. It really does seem very, very possible that the Yankees and the Red Sox will end up playing each other in the postseason in the wild card series, which would just be absolute must see TV. I think it would be, I think it'd be electric wherever it is at Fenway Park or Yankee Stadium. And I think, granted that if that were to happen, you'd play all three games at Fenway or Yankee Stadium. I would think like whoever is the home team in that, and this is like Captain Obvious, but like I feel like whoever's the home team in that series probably takes that series because I just think it's such a big environment and you're playing there for most like three games. Like I would be kind of surprised if the home team didn't win that series. And the Yankees currently do have the top wild card, but that's going to be interesting
Yeah,
to
but I mean,
see
then
how
you
that.
but then you look. Boston came in and took 3 out of 4 from the Yankees like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
So,
true.
I mean, we'll see. One thing I want to talk about Devin Williams. So, where are we at right now with him? He's back. He gave up that run on Saturday, I think, in the
Yeah.
seventh. He
Yeah.
had, I don't know, maybe 8 good outings before that. It just it just keeps bugging at me though, Ryan. As you said before, like he doesn't really have a purpose on this team if you're not gonna, if you don't trust him, just like any reliever.
Yeah.
But I think the Yankees are almost trying to fake it till you make it, and they're gonna just try and build it up come playoff time. But especially as now these next 2 weeks, every game is going to be intense. There's probably going to be situations where Devin Williams is in position to either hold it or completely blow it and lose the game. And I'm nervous for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like I think it's just like another wait and see thing. Like, you hope he can go on another little run that he was on before. And like that'd be great. I don't know. I have no clue what type of role you put him in. Like if the playoffs started today, I have no idea like when you use him. Like it's just it's a very confusing thing. Um, and I don't know. I mean, I guess he's good. I get unless he completely implodes in over this month, which is possible because we've seen that throughout the course of this year. But unless he just has like another abysmal month, I assume he's probably going to be on the postseason roster. And but with that being said, I don't know. I don't know exactly like what role you use him in. I think one thing that the Yankees really got to get worked out, and I think Doval's been pitching better, but if Doval could get going here in this final month, that'd be huge because with Williams' struggles, he's kind of went unnoticed for a little bit, but he really struggled since coming over. And I think he's been pitching a lot better of late. So if you get Doval working, that's great. And then you got Weaver, Bednar, Fernando Cruz, who's just been awesome for the Yankees all season. Tim Hill, we love him. So like you got a lot of guys in that bullpen, but I really have no idea like what type of situation you put him in. And it's going to be really, really a bad thing if he finds a way to blow a game in the postseason. I really have no idea what you do. I'm not sure if the Yankees have an idea either.
Yeah, and I pulled up his baseball savant because it truly is so mind blowing to me. I mean, you can see how good he really is. But I think we can all agree there's just some sort of mental block or something when it comes to those big moments. Uh, and this isn't just three or four bad outings where we're hopping on a bandwagon and saying, "Oh, this guy can't pitch in big moments." It's been pretty consistent throughout the entire year where he just loses his command, his pitches get a little bit flatter, and he just becomes so much easier to hit. Uh, so I don't really know. Maybe he could help over these next 2 weeks since you're not going to have every guy in the bullpen available every night. And, when he's right, he can give you a clean inning. So if I'm the Yankees, he's staying on the team. I'm targeting trying to get him in the sixth inning if our starter's getting pulled then, whether it's a tie game, down by one, up by one. I think sixth inning's fine. Maybe seventh, but really once we get out of the stretch, it gets a lot easier, and then we start to prep for the postseason. I just stay away from him because I don't see a world where it's working out and he's getting big outs for us in the postseason. So you might need him over this next 2 weeks. A lot of games, but
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, September 2nd, we saw how long of a month August was. So, you know, we'll see what happens at the end of the month. The Yankees, after this stretch, really start to descend. The seatbelt sign goes off, and that's how they'll finish the year. They don't play many good teams at all. I think they'll play the Chicago White Sox again. They'll play the Orioles some more. So they don't really, play many good teams after this 12-game stretch, or if any. But this 12-game stretch is going to be very important. I mean, you go 2-10, you go 3-9. I mean, what the hell are we doing here at that point? But this is a really big opportunity, and the head-to-head games against the Blue Jays are going to be really, really important if you want to make a serious run at the division. Obviously, bare minimum, you have to win 2 out of 3. But honestly, winning, like sweeping that series at home, will be really tough, but that would be a perfect world scenario because the Blue Jays also have that tie record too, over the Yankees. So do the Red Sox. So that's another thing to keep an eye on, as we go down the stretch. But I don't know really what to expect. Maybe the Yankees go out there and they play extremely well, and we're all buying in, we're all juiced up. I could see them not playing well. I don't know. I'm certainly rooting for the best. One thing that looks good is maybe Aaron Judge is starting to get going a little bit. We heard Aaron Boone say that Aaron Judge is close to playing the field, but there's still no timetable for that. I don't know what that means. Giancarlo Stanton is back in the outfield tonight. Aaron Boone said the other day that he was not considering having Stanton play in the outfield, at all in the Houston series, but he says today that Stanton is in the outfield. Maybe he discussed that decision with Bill Belichick at the University of North Carolina football game last night. Who knows? I really don't know. So we'll see what happens. But go Yanks! Let's do it. Let's do it. We can. This team can go to the World Series. This team can go to the World Series.
yeah, just play postseason baseball over these next 2 weeks. They're gonna lose games. Just play good baseball though. Not asking
Yeah.
for much, Ryan. Just clean baseball. Let's go. Let's do 8-4.
8-4. 8-4. I
Yeah.
predicted a 6-6. I'll ride with you on the 8-4. I'll change it up. I'll go to an 8-4.
Yeah, I think
You know what?
I think 6-6 is the most likely.
I'll
Um,
raise you. I'll raise you up one. I'll say we'll do a 9-3. I'll say the boys are buzzing.
you're really gonna one up me like that?
I Come on. You want it? You want to play with the big dogs? Come on.
All right,
Come on.
10-2.
Show me something.
10-2.
Show me something. Show me something and raise me to a 10-2.
10-2.
I can't go to a 10-2, but you got to do that. You got to go to a 10-2.
I already did. 10-2.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So
Christian just
and the quick path to 10-2 is, let's see. Okay, I think it's I think if it's going to be a 10-2, it has to be a statement in Houston, and it has to be a sweep, because that just sets off all the right momentum. And then I think they can win a series against the Blue Jays.
And then Detroit try to get the number 1 seed.
Sweep Detroit at home. It's the Tigers.
Isn't this crazy
Come on.
that the Yankees? Isn't it crazy the Yankees have an opportunity to literally one up like every team that's in their way?
Yeah,
like
I know.
It's all literally in front of them.
And you know what's so crazy, Ryan?
What?
They could play terrible against the Astros. Maybe not terrible. Yankees could play not so great against the Astros, not so great against the Blue Jays, not so great against the Tigers. But if they came out and swept Boston, we'd be psyched.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But let's not do that. Let's win them all.
Look, I mean, we'll go out and see what the boys do tonight. If Max Fried hands in another good start, okay, because we need our ace for the playoffs, and 14 wins. Let's get them to like 17 wins. Let's do it. But yeah, I'm pumped, and I just want to say I'm making this prediction now, Christian. The Yankees are going to win the American League East.
I mean, I'll do you one better. I think Yankees are going to finish with the best record.
Wow.
In the American League.
Wow. Some bold predictions there. And, let's go out there. Let's do it. Let's get the job done. I mean, that's kind of all I got. I got to renew my Gotham Sports app membership because I don't know. It got like canceled or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, I really do love the Yes Network, but I feel like they do need to make some changes with the app because I feel like it is kind of buggy.
You know what bothers me? And it bothered me because I had to do it 2 times in the past 2 weeks. Because I was setting up. We have a TV in like our common room, and then I have a TV in my room.
Yeah.
And both times on the Roku, I had to sign in with Gotham Sports. But they had no autofill, no nothing. So you had to do like the type out on the keyboard with my account. Oh. And I don't know if you had this happen before, but I was typing in the correct password. It was saying it was wrong.
Yeah.
So then I was having to reset it on the TV, which is so annoying because it's so slow to do on the TV. Then you have to do the whole sign in with Verizon or whoever your TV provider is, where it like shows the link on the TV. Just they gotta find a way to simplify it. It's a good 10-minute process.
And
to watch a Yankee game.
With some of the Roku TVs, there's an issue with the app, and I looked it up. There's an issue with some of the Roku TVs where, like, the game is super laggy. Like, you can't fix it. Like, they're just like not compatible with some of the Roku TVs.
I think that happened to our TV outside back at home, where like the app just started break. We had to delete it, reset the whole Roku.
Yeah, no, that literally
very buggy.
That's happened. Yeah, so that's super frustrating. Like it's just really really buggy. I don't know why it is so buggy too. And I'm like really confused with like my membership too, because like I bought the membership for the year back in like March. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense to me that I have to buy it again. And I'm pretty sure they have like 2 payment options. You either pay like the $250 up front or have it spread across for like, the 12 months.
Yeah.
But I swear that I bought it like all up front for the year. So I don't know why I am having to renew it. And I don't have the patience right now. I'm just like busy with college and stuff. I don't feel like calling them up on the phone. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll have to fly to Houston and watch the game.
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe get on that Aaron Boone travel flight. Aaron Boone gets the Jets. He goes everywhere. Yeah, UNC,
Booney.
Chicago one day, UNC the next, Houston the next.
He's the man.
Gotta love some Booney. Boone turned the team around.
Always right in front of us.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got. Let's go do it.
Let's go do it. Let's go sweep Houston. Let's have a great series. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys.